thought they were great.
Thank you.
After hearing the news last year, I have to ask, how do you feel?
Oh, okay, thank you. I feel pretty good. I have to be careful physically. I have to be careful of how fast I walk. I have to be careful of stairs. Going upstairs, I have trouble. Let me back up a little bit. I have a condition that's called COPD. That stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And the best explanation for it is that I did a lot of smoking in my younger years. I started smoking when I was a teenager. When I started smoking, it was the cool thing to do. And we had no reason to believe that it was damaging to you. The advertising for the cigarette company was really something you wouldn't believe today. I mean, they couldn't do it today because of government regulations. But at that time, for example, there was an ad that said, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. And you actually saw a picture of a doctor in his white lab coat holding a cigarette and smiling as he was saying, I love Camels. Camels are my favorite cigarette. So you got the feel, you were being taught that not only was it a pleasurable thing to do, but it was a healthy thing to do. It was okay to do it. And I bought into that as a kid. And I became addicted to nicotine. I was really a serious smoker for many years. I think I must have smoked for about 40 years. By the end, I was smoking about 2 packs a day. Some people smoke more than that, but I did my fair share. And I like to say that I was an Olympic champion smoker. I was really good at it. I could smoke any time of day or night. If I'm between courses and a meal, I would light a cigarette. Go and get into a shower, I would light a cigarette and have it waiting for me when I came back out of the shower, so it was still, it was ridiculous. What I did with cigarettes was ridiculous. Now, we are born with a certain number of cells in our lungs. And let's say you start with 100 cells, for example. After a period of time, as you age, you start to lose some of those cells. Just the aging process will take some of them away. If you haven't damaged your lungs, chances are you'll be okay and your lungs will survive as long as you need them to. But because I had done damage to my lungs, about 15 years ago, I started having a shortness of breath when I was walking and talking. I couldn't do both at the same time. I'd either have to stop and talk or keep walking and don't talk. I couldn't do both. And I became very concerned about it. I thought, I can't have this, because obviously as an actor and director, I have to be able to walk and talk. So I quit smoking. It was not easy. But I quit smoking. I was heavily addicted, and I quit. Now, I quit sometime around 1983 or 4, something like that, after almost 40 years of smoking. And for a while, I was okay. I thought I'd gotten past the problem. I was okay. I could walk and talk. But then my age started to catch up with me. So the cells that were dying off now were cells that I really needed. And I began to feel shortness of breath, which I do now. I cannot move quickly. I cannot climb stairs quickly. I have to stop after 4 or 5 steps, catch my breath, and then I can move on. I enjoy my life thoroughly. I have a great family. I enjoy my kids, my grandchildren. I have 6 grandchildren and a great-grandson. I'm involved in a marriage with a woman that I dearly love. I love all the people in my life. I have a wonderful time. So as far as that's concerned, I'm doing great. As far as my health is concerned, I have to be very careful and watch my energy. Don't smoke. If you are smoking, quit. If you're not smoking, don't ever start. Okay? Thank you.
I'd like to throw in, I am now 92 days smoke-free.
It's hard. But you have to do it. You have to stop. Yes, sir. I'm having trouble hearing. I'm sorry.
You lived through some very hard times in this country, and things are pretty rough right now, violence in school and everything. What advice would you give to today's generation?
Advice to today's generation? Yeah. This is we live in a complicated time. I'm very concerned for people who are looking for work and can't find it. I'm very concerned for people who get through a college degree and can't even find work in their chosen profession. These things bother me a lot. we always were a country where if you worked hard and tried hard, things would work out for you. You could find a job, you could advance yourself, you could support yourself, and hopefully support a family. It's tough now. This concerns me a lot. All I can say is get as much education as you possibly can, because you're going to need it, because it is simply a fact that the more education that you have, the better chance you have of finding a job and making a living. So that's important. Get as much education as you possibly can, and find what you love. Find out what you love to do, so you have a passion for it. It's the passion that sustains you during tough times. It's that passion that sustains you. I found what I love to do when I was very young, and I consider myself very lucky that that was the case. By the time I was 18, I knew for sure what I wanted to do with my life. And that passion sustained me, and it will do that for you if you really find what you love to do. If you love to do what you're doing, it makes a big difference in your life. So that's my best advice. Thanks for the question.
That was our final question for you. Do you have any closing statements?
Yes, I do. I consider myself a very, very lucky person. I set out hoping to make a living as an actor, and I consider myself blessed. Not only have I, ever since Star Trek went on the air, I have never had to worry about work. I've had steady employment in all kinds of work. I have toured the United States in various performances and jobs. I have worked in theater on Broadway a couple times. I never thought I would direct movies, but I ended up directing 6 films, including 2 Star Trek films and 3 Men and a Baby, which was a lot of fun to do. I consider myself a blessed person. I have found happiness in my personal life, and a great sense of accomplishment, and a great sense of satisfaction in knowing that I'm connected with a franchise, the Star Trek franchise, which is highly respected throughout the world. And for good reason. The producers and the writers and Gene Roddenberry, who gave us these great ideas to work with and gave us these great scripts to work with, were very, very talented people. I consider myself very, very lucky to be in that environment and that surrounding, to be able to produce works that not only entertain, but enlighten people and help to make us all a little better as a human race. I feel very, very blessed to find myself in that place. And, not least of all by any means, I find it just absolutely thrilling to know that a couple hundred people will sit down in a room in Knoxville, Tennessee, and listen to what I have to say.